Okay, quick little video before I get my Slurpee. Oh, this is wide. All these bees. Oh, this is strangely zoomed in. Anyway, all these bees on that pink board were to a mating nuke that never made it, and I put the frames into a different hive because they didn't make a queen, but many of them returned to the original site, and the box was gone, the frames were gone. All that was left was this lid, and it's quite a bit. It was about double the bees that you see now, and they were in a very tight cluster. And I just set this just now, about a minute before I started videoing, and all of a sudden the bees just lined up and basically marched straight into the hive, and so they'll have a new happy home, a queen right hive. With blue honey. Yeah, I decided I want to get a bunch of colored honey. I've got green. Now I want some blue and red and purple. But anyway, they're not sucking it down as fast as they were earlier. They were doing about a quart a day. And here's the cool thing about dyeing it blue. I'm only feeding this hive blue. I'm not feeding any of my other hives. And yet, I have, in 3 other hives that I've gone into, they all have blue honey. Which means they've been robbing out of this guy. And it's not even necessarily what most people would probably call robbing, per se. Like, they're not fighting. And bees can do that. They've done that. In fact, I did one hive. Okay, here's the story. This is kind of interesting. I had this one hive. It was 2 very small nukes. And it had 2 queens. One on the top nuke and one on the bottom. And they were joined together as a 2-queen nuke. Or 2-nuke hive. 2-queen hive. And I noticed they weren't really sucking down their green gruel, green honey syrup. And then all of a sudden they started sucking down like more than a quart a day. And in fact, the hive that I had in the same spot, I noticed a lot of traffic. And I never went into this hive for reasons I won't go into, but at one point I did. And the super was filled with dark green honey. And the original 2-queen hive had no green honey in it, even though there was a feeder at the bottom of it. And they were doing all right, both of them. They both had small little brood pattern. It was very small, 2 clusters, but they were still healthy. And they basically would only get the real stuff. And the hive that was here, they're like, hell yeah, we'll take it. So bees can take, I know that because I dye it and I can tell where it goes. Bees can go into a hive and get syrup and not fight. I mean, they do sometimes, but generally speaking, there's no fighting going on. It sort of equalizes, balances, I don't know what you call it. But there's no bee carnage at the bottom. And never read about that or heard about that, but I know it's true because it's happened. It's happened here a few times. I can tell In this instance with the blue. It's a cool way to see who's eating what. But anyway. So, at some point, I'll harvest my blue honey. I don't sell it, so it's for me. One cool thing about honey from syrup is that it's not very strong in flavor, which I particularly like for coffee, where it doesn't overwhelm the flavor. But anyway, when you're a beekeeper, you get lots of flavors of honey. And I'll get my syrup. There's a little pipe going on there. That's probably from these guys mixing. Yeah, one thing about these hives, or these bees too, these contain some laying workers. And the thing about laying workers is regular healthy bees, like this guy, the worker bees in this hive can smell laying workers, and they will kill the laying workers, which is good. You don't want laying workers. So that's possible what's going on there. So in a laying worker hive, it's not like you have one laying worker, but you have a number of laying workers. And I think I'm going to go because they're zooming around my face. I don't feel like getting stung. That's it.